Amy.
Hello. Do you get as many people doing the evening ones as you do the afternoon ones?
No, usually, like, often I just have one person here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. But the recordings get put up anyway, so
Yep.
I just do
They're
that.
awesome.
So, yeah, Kelly, who's one of my students that would come to the yoga studio, she usually comes on the evenings. Yeah, and she's here. Hi, Kelly.
Hi there.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
How is Richmond? Is it crazy?
It just started pouring here, so I think we're okay though. Is that what you meant?
I mean, today it's just kind of been thunderstormy. We just had it in the morning.
We were supposed to get it early, like all day today, and it just started moments ago. I was gonna be outside for my practice, but nope.
Well, does anyone have requests? Anything that they want to make sure we do?
I have been sitting a lot, like lower back, hips.
Okay.
Kind of like I just feel like I need to move a little bit, but
Well, we will then. We'll move. Do some moving. We'll start sitting. I'll read just a little bit, but.
And I second the hit.
What's that, Amy?
Can you hear me?
No, you're super like garbly. All right.
I hear kitties.
Yeah, my kitty is meowing. He really wants to go outside. All right, we'll just go ahead and start. Okay. So I've got a bolster to sit on and to lay on and stuff, but we'll make sure we do some moving. But I just, as I was getting ready for class today, just like, what do I need to say? What do I have to say? What do I need to say? And so I just picked up this book called The God Seed by Catherine Thomas. She was a professor of religion at Brigham Young University. I think now her and her husband just go on missions. But anyway, this is a book that I read and reread over and over and over again. But I just opened just randomly to a page, and this was the quote that stood out to me that I had marked. Oh, there's the cat. Eva, I'm recording a class. Can you take him somewhere else, please? Sorry about that. The cat walking on the keyboard. This is the quote that stood out to me. Awareness can undo and remake any impulse. And that was the one that I had underlined and boxed and starred around. But this section of the book, she's talking about the willingness to look at the darkest parts of ourselves. And she says, whatever is stored in darkness becomes distorted. Things can be hidden, pushed away, but not destroyed. And she says, spiritual progress and spiritual wakefulness move forward much more readily as these dark energies come into the light of awareness, are compassionately accepted and released. That denying things does not help us progress or see truth and see reality. And in the light of what's been happening in the world, I just feel like it's so important for us to be willing to question all the ways that we see things and think. And so then she quotes Richard Rohr, who says, "We absolutely need conflicts, relationship difficulties, moral failures, defeats to our grandiosity, even seeming enemies, or we will have no way to ever spot or track our shadow self. They are our necessary mirrors." And then this is the author. She says, "Taking our own honest inventory is about seeing your stuff first, so you can stop blaming, accusing, and denying, and thus displacing the problem. It is about seeing truthfully and honestly and fully. Thus, God brings us through failure from unconsciousness to ever deeper consciousness and conscience." She says, "The shadow parts of us always want to emerge. It wants to be known. Repression says, if I don't look at you, you will leave me alone. To which the shadow answers, I can do things that will make you look at me. Paying attention is just what is needed, casting the light of compassionate awareness over the shadow's secrets." This is where she says, "Awareness can undo and remake any impulse. The shadow in all its forms requires consciousness in the form of light and love. And the only limit to healing is how much of ourselves we are willing to give to the project." She says, "As we excavate the darkest parts of ourselves, it's essential. It's an essential tutorial. We increase in compassion and we become less judgmental." And then in the margins, I just wrote, "We must learn to love humanity, all of humanity. Nature is easy to love." I don't know exactly what I was thinking when I wrote that in there, but I find it so peaceful just to be out in nature, and I can just feel God, right? And the presence of God and the reality of the goodness of the world. But sometimes when we come in contact with humans, or when we are confronted with the realities of differing ideas and opinions, right? It's hard to love. But that's what we're called to do, is to use what's happening in the humans around us and outside of us as a mirror to see what it is that we need to look at in ourselves. And that it's always an exercise in awareness, and then questioning those things. Like, is this really true? Is this thought or thing that I've always believed about myself, or my political views, or the truth, right? Is there something I'm not seeing? Is there more that I could see? And then letting go of the blinders so that we can actually be more open to love and seeing things more clearly, because that's where we see things as they really are, is from that lens of love. And so as we move tonight, I really want to focus on that letting go. That when we exhale completely, then we have more space for the inhale. And so focusing on that full exhalation, that full letting go, and really being able to relax into that and find some space for awareness. So let's start standing, and we'll just get some moving in before we sit and do a little more restorative work. So just come to the top of your mat, get your wiggles out. You can rock forward and back on your feet. I'll just do some really breath-guided lunging salutations. So just inhale and reach high, and really think of the long, complete exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, completely fold again. Inhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. Exhale your left knee down. Inhale to reach high. And exhale to just settle here. Inhale, one more breath. Full, complete exhale. Just bring your hands down. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. As you inhale, step forward and just cross your left foot behind your right. So your feet are close to each other, just crossed. And just find a cross-legged forward fold. And just kind of pause here. You can maybe even sway from side to side or walk your hands more to the right. Put that left leg in back. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And come back to center. Inhale yourself all the way up to standing. Reach high and just grab a hold of your left forearm. Lengthen and side bend over to your left. Really push into that left heel behind you. Lengthen out through your left fingertips. And then come back up to center. Release your arms and cross your legs. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Completely exhale. Inhale, right foot back. And exhale that knee down. Inhale to reach high. And just exhale to settle here. Really open through the front of that right hip. Undo the sitting of the day. Take a breath in. Complete exhale, hands down, lift that back knee. Inhale to step forward and cross your right foot behind your left and just let your feet be close to each other. And then exhale, just fold over your crossed legs. And just hang out here for a little while. Maybe even walk your hands over to your left a little more and push through that right hip. And twist yourself. Inhale, come all the way to standing, reach high. Grab a hold of your right forearm with your left hand, lengthen. And then side bend over to your left. And just really think of pushing through that right heel, lengthening through your right fingertips, and making a lot of space for your breath through your rib cage. Inhale through center and cross your legs. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back into your lunge. Exhale, your left knee down. Inhale to reach high. And this time, find your side bend here. You can grab a hold of that left forearm with your right hand and then side bend over to your right. And then inhale yourself up. Just bring your hands down to frame that right foot. You can always use blocks if you need to. And just lift your heel up off the floor, engage through your calf. And then ground that right foot and lengthen through your right leg. Walk your hands back as much as you need to. And flex through your foot here. And then rock forward. Lift your heel. Plant your heel and rock back. And you can move at your own pace here. But really think about your exhale. I'm just going forward and lifting my heel. Engaging that, and then you can stretch through your calf. And if you want to really turn on that Ujjayi breath, so you hear that whisper, ocean-like sound in the back of your throat. And think about the inhale as an investigation. And then the exhale is a complete emptying out. Inhale forward, just plant your hands, and just exhale back into downward facing dog. You can pedal your legs out there. And just rock forward into a plank. And then soften your knees to hover above the ground. Push your hips back and up. Just kind of this waving dog. Rock forward, knees hover, hips back and up. Rock forward, knees hover, push back and up. And just pause here. Look between your hands, step your right foot between your hands, and then step that left foot, cross it behind your right. Inhale, find a halfway lift here, and then exhale, let yourself fold over those crossed legs. Inhale all the way to standing, reach high. Grab a hold of that left forearm with your right hand, side bend over to your right. Inhale through center, you can uncross. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge. Exhale, right knee down. And inhale, reach high. Grab a hold of your right forearm with your left hand. Side bend over to your left. And then inhale through center. Hands frame that front foot. Lift your heels, so you're just gonna engage that calf. And then bring it down, draw your left hip back to straighten that leg. And just move through this at your own pace. So come forward, lift your heel, ground your heel, and then lengthen your leg. You can always pad that back knee if having it down starts to bother you. Let's do one more exhale. Really think of that complete empty. Inhale, plant your hands. Just step back to your downward facing dog. Let yourself settle there. And then inhale to plank. Knees bend to hover above the mat, and then push your hips back and up. Rock forward. Knees hover. Hips go back and up. Let's go 2 more times. And then look between your hands. Step that left foot forward between your hands. And then you'll take that right foot and step it to the outer edge of your left foot, crossed legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale completely to fold. Soften your knees as much as you need to. Inhale all the way to standing. Just grab that right forearm. And exhale, side bend over to your left. And then inhale, uncross your legs. And step your feet mat distance apart. Bring your toes out, your heels in a little bit, and just come down into a malasana. And you can let your heels come up off the floor. You can keep your bum higher. Just start to rock around. Just kind of getting into your hips here. And then let yourself find a place to settle. So it may feel good to roll your mat up and put that underneath your heels, or to find a block to sit on or something. Think about the length in your spine and really just kind of let this feel like an intuitive investigation for what your body needs. Just be here for a couple more breaths. And then release your hands to straighten your legs and just find a wider forward fold. Find some length through your spine and then really empty out. Draw that belly in. Soften your knees, roll yourself up to standing. And we'll come down and just find 90-90 legs. Just do a little bit of work there. So I'm starting with my right shin in front of me, left hip straight out, and think about drawing that left hip down and in. And then engage through that left glute and kind of push your left hip forward. And then think of pushing your groin toward the floor and deepening the crease there. And then engage through your glute and push it forward. So just pretty simple, kind of moving that femur bone in your hip socket on that left side. And then we'll just switch sides. Just swing around. Right leg out to the right, left shin in front of you, and then just kind of engaging through that right glute and then pushing your hip down. So we're just finding some movement in that hip joint. And then go ahead and just actually, release that and find your bolster. We're going to do a quad stretch. So you're going to take your right outer foot to your right bum and just let your left shin come forward, okay? And that your sacrum will come against your bolster, your stack of blankets, whatever you've got to lay on. If you don't have anything, it's fine. You can just come down on your forearms. But engage through that right glute. Kind of think of pointing your tailbone toward the tail of your mat, and then come and lay down and just let this open up through your right quad and your hip flexor there. Just kind of enjoy some breath. Let go of any tension. See if you can just relax your legs. Pay attention to your breathing. You can inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale to a count of 6 or 8. And keep that rhythm with your exhale being longer than your inhale. Just keep paying attention to that really long exhale. And go ahead and push yourself back up and find a forward fold here. So if you want to bring your bolster or something in front of you, just going to bring it in front of that left shin, and you can let yourself fold over left shin. If you'd rather this be a more of a pigeon and you lengthen your right leg behind you, that's fine. You can do that too. But now we're stretching that left hip. So either you can have that right leg bent and just let yourself fold over your left shin, and it can even be out to the side. You just find a place that feels good. Or you can have your right leg long behind you. And again, see if you can make your exhale, that letting go, longer than your inhale. Notice if you're bringing tension into anywhere in your body. We're just really letting ourselves sink and melt and feel supported by any props that you have. Go ahead, just prop yourself up onto your hands, and then you can step back into a table. And just find a couple of rounds of cat and cow there. We're just gonna switch it up. So this time your right shin will be in front and your left knee will be bent with the foot at your outer hip. And then bring your bolster or your stack of blankets up behind your sacrum and let yourself lean back. So you're getting an opening through the front of that left quad. You push into the top of that left foot a little bit. Kind of let your tailbone feel like it's pointing toward your left knee. But then see if you can just let go of any effort or tension. Let yourself settle and then lengthen your exhale. Just practice this ability to fully be in your body and in your experience. Noticing where you feel sensation, noticing the thoughts that come through your head, noticing the rhythm of your breath, noticing how safe and supported you are. All these tools to be really aware of our own experience are what enable us to have empathy and some imagination for others. When we know what it feels like to be safe, we can start to imagine what it would be like to feel completely unsafe. When we can feel open and receptive, we you start to notice and realize the times that we've been closed. Right, and it's our awareness that allows us to choose and shift in our relationships and the way we create our lives. Go ahead and push yourself up from here, and then you can bring your bolster in front of you and fold over that right leg. So either with your left knee bent and just let yourself fold over that right leg, and it may not be very far, like you may be propped up, or you might do this up close to your couch or something where you can rest your forehead on the edge of the cushion. Or you can wrap that left leg behind you and just let it go straight back. So you're in a pigeon and let yourself fold. Just find a place where it feels good for you. And you can settle in. And wherever you are, you can feel like that right hip is an extension of your lungs. Right, and your inhale is an investigation. Willingness to expand. The exhale is long and complete. Just return to that long exhale. Go ahead and walk your hands up. Make your way to a table. And if downward facing dog sounds better to you here, you can totally go for that. And then just find whatever movements of your spine feel like they're calling to you right now. And then we're just going to push our bolster out of the way so we can come onto our backs on our mats. Just do a little more hip stuff here on our backs. So hug your knees into your chest. And then bring your right hand to the front of your right thigh. Your left hand's wrapped around your left shin. And then really resist left hand into left shin. So push your left shin into your left hand. Pull your left hand into your left shin. And then do the same with your right hand. Push into your right thigh. And with your right thigh, push back into your hand. So with all your might there, you're really pushing that right thigh away from you. And then switch your grip and do the same thing on the other side. So right hand around your right shin. Left hand in front of that left thigh. And resist leg into hand, hand into leg. And then just switch. We're just going to go back and forth. And really think of having a strong, forceful exhale here with your effort. Do one more time with your left hand on your left hand, right hand around your right shin. And then just keep a hold of that right shin and let your left foot come to the floor. And then take your right hand and just steer that right hip in circles. And see if you can let your leg be kind of as relaxed as possible. You're just really using your hand to steer your femur bone in the hip socket. So you're relaxing through that hip as you're firmly holding onto your knee and just kind of steering it around. Kind of thinking of cleaning out that hip socket. And just go in each direction a couple of times. And then just go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and lengthen that right leg up. Push your thigh into your hands, pull your hands into your thighs. See if you can find the natural curves of your spine. So your rib cage is on the floor, but got a neutral curve underneath your lower back. And you can find some ankle circles, some flex and point there. And then flex your foot, bend your knee. Point your foot and lengthen. Flex and bend, point. Just do that a couple of times. And then just switch. We'll just point to bend and flex to lengthen. Point to bend and flex to lengthen. Flex to lengthen. Pause there. And then you can walk your hands up your leg, maybe hold on to big toes. If you've got a strap handy and you want to use that, go for it, but just let yourself stretch through the back of that right hamstring. If you can keep the natural curves of your spine, you can lengthen your left leg on the floor. Just one more breath there, and then just angle your right toes to the right just a little bit and let your right leg drop out to the right. If you need to do this with a bent knee and just holding onto your knee, it's probably an option. Just kind of lengthening through that inner thigh and opening through your hip. And come back up to center. We're just going to switch legs. So bring your left knee in, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, and then push your thigh away, pull your hands into your thigh, natural curves of your spine, and find some circles of your ankle. And then flex to bend and point to lengthen. Just do that a few times. Just really simple movements like this. Sometimes we think, what's the point? But it is so helpful. And our muscles feel so happy after we're done. All right. Flex to lengthen and point to bend. Flex to lengthen and point to bend. And go ahead, lengthen that leg. Find the natural curves of your spine. You can walk your hand up your leg a little further. Maybe reach for your but I like fingers around my big toe, but a strap or holding your outer foot is an option. And just find that length there. And then angle those left toes out to the left, drop your left leg to the left, which is, right, we're not rolling over to the left. You're keeping your right hip grounded down. Back up to center. Release that, set your feet on the floor, and we're just going to do a bridge that we're gonna hold for a while, for several breaths. So if you'd rather it be supported and bring something underneath your sacrum, you can. I feel like just lifting and having a nice psoas opening would feel really good. So just lift your hips, let your gaze stay straight up at the ceiling. And just kind of notice what's happening in your body. See if you can kind of feel like you're dragging your heels back, letting your tailbone point for the same direction as your knees. And even though you've got a back bend going on, see if you can soften your front low ribs in. And then maybe wiggle your shoulder blades together. You can interlace hands underneath you. Find the support and the opening that would feel good in your body here. And see if you can really bring your awareness to your breath. And find that 3-part yogic breath here. So breathe into your belly, breathe into your ribs, all the way up into your collarbones. And then see if you can exhale and release in 3 parts: collarbones, rib cage, belly. Belly, rib cage, collarbones, and then collarbones, rib cage, belly. And let those exhales be complete. Let go. Let's just take one more long, deep breath here. And then release your hands if they're clasped underneath you. Move your block out from underneath you, or your bolster if you've got it underneath. And then take your feet as wide as your mat and just let your knees knock together. So we're gonna do some self-massage for our jaw and neck area. And so you can do this laying down. You can just stay here right where you are. I'm gonna sit up so that it'll be easier for you to see what I'm doing. And I might actually even move closer to the camera. But so just find a place that feels supported to you. So if you want to do this seated, you can totally do this seated. Scoot back so I'm still in the light. If you want to do this laying down, you can totally do it laying down. But I just want you to bring your fingers to the sides of your jaw. I just noticed that when I'm stressed, I clench, I grind my teeth a lot. So this is something that I need, but we're all gonna do it together. But just find where your jaw joint is and just gently massage there. So you have options. You can do it with kind of a firm pressure, or you can do it lightly, like your nervous system will like both. So just do what feels intuitive and good for you. Circles are fine, or just rubbing up and down. Just kind of right along your jaw. You can go back behind it too, more on your neck and throat, the base of your ears. And then you can move up to your temples. Just massage there in your temples a little. Sorry, someone's cooking. Hopefully it's not too loud. Go ahead and pause with your massage and just open your mouth and your eyes as wide as you can and then relax. So part of this is just letting go of inhibitions and just looking silly, right? But just open and close, or just relax, and just do that a few more times. Watching myself do this is funny. Okay, and then just kind of pause and just notice how that feels in your jaw, if it's different from the right side to the left. Any of that. And now we're just gonna move your jaw forward and back. So let yourself feel long through the back of your neck. If you're laying down, this is good because the back of your head is just in the line with the back of your heart. If you're sitting up, just try not to be in a head forward position. Lengthen up through the back of your neck and kind of draw your chin in. And then you're gonna just push your lower jaw forward into like an underbite. And then just come back. And just do that a few times. Just pushing your lower jaw forward. Hard to talk. And then just kind of find a little pause after that movement. Just kind of notice what it feels like in your face and your jaw. And then find that underbite again. And then just move your jaw over to the right. And then come back. And then move it to the left. And then come back. So just do that a few times. You're gonna look crazy. And then move the other way. And then you can just kind of go back and forth. And then release. And cover your lips. Try to relax through your cheeks. And then bring your hands to your ears. So find your earlobes. It's hard with my headset microphone. Just find your earlobes and kind of pull them out. So find some firm pressure. And don't pull so hard that it hurts, but just kind of find space. Just think about pulling your earlobes down and out to the sides, just to find space through your ears. And you've got lots of acupressure points on your ears, so it also just kind of stimulates everything. And then release that, just pause and feel all that blood rush back in. And then come just to the center of your ears, just the center edges. So still on the edges of your ears, just grab them and you can just pull out. There, on your ears. And then release that, and we'll move up to the top. So you can kind of hook your thumbs in the top and actually pull up toward the ceiling and out a little bit. Just pull on your ears. And then release, just pause and feel. And then we'll come back down to your earlobes grab your earlobes and pull, and this time I want you to kind of move your jaw at the same time. So you'll pull down on your earlobes, pull them kind of down and out. And then you can open and close your jaw. You can find that underbite and move from side to side. And then release. And then just take your thumbs to the tops of your ears and then slide them down to the bottoms, like kind of behind in the back, just along your ears. You can pull down. And then bring your fingers to the mastoid bone on your skull. Behind your ears, just push your fingers firmly there, and then you can slide your hands down. And just, you can come down the front sides of your neck. Slide down there. And do that a few times. And we'll do one last thing. So I'm going to take my right hand to my left collarbone and I'm going to kind of pull down the skin, kind of stretch that neck skin until I get to my collarbone and just kind of hold onto my collarbone. And I'm going to turn my head to my right and just move, kind of nod and move around. And just kind of gently pulling here. You can even use both hands. And just getting this all through your jaw, side of your neck. And it might even feel good, like you might find a place where you can lean back and open and close. It might feel like too much, but just find some movement there while you're holding and kind of pulling that skin over your collarbone. And then unwind. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So I've got my left hand on my right collarbone, just kind of pulling that skin down and then turn to the left. And you can nod. Maybe open and close your jaw there. Go ahead and release. We'll find a side bend on our bolsters. So if you're laying down, just kind of roll yourself up. We'll take our bolster this way, or your stack of blankets, whatever you've got. And it may be nice to have another pillow or something. I'm just gonna lay down my left side first, rib cage over the bolster, and you can let your head come to the floor, or you could fold a blanket or a block or something there. And I'm gonna bring my right arm over my ear. Just after that soothing work through your neck, let that come down through your rib cage and feel the freedom of your breath. Just letting go in a really intentional and aware way. It's the practice that we can take into our lives. We can notice what tension maybe we had in our jaw, our shoulders, that we weren't even paying attention to until we shined some light on it and paid some attention to it. And then we could see it and take some skillful action to let it go. Let's just take one more breath here, and then we can switch sides. So when you're ready, just push yourself up. And then we'll set ourselves up for the other side. You can just roll over. I'm gonna move so that I'm still facing you. I'm gonna drape my right side of my rib cage over. We've got my right shoulder on the floor, and I've got a block for my head. You can have anything. So this can be a rolled up blanket, a stack of blankets. And then just arrange your legs in a way that feels comfortable and drape your left arm up over your ear. Just enjoy your breath here. Relax. And that right shoulder. And your jaw. Find space through that whole left side. And really lengthen your exhales. Go ahead and unwind yourself and find an ending pose that's symmetrical. So arrange your bolster lengthwise and either just lay back on it with your legs straight and let yourself lay back with your heart open. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees go wide. It might feel good to have pillows or blankets or blocks underneath your knees or your thighs there for support. And now just notice how supported you are even in this completely open and vulnerable state. And let your exhale be twice as long as your inhale. Simple investigation of the inhale and a complete emptying out with your exhale. Soften your face. Soften your forehead. Really let your eyes soften back into their sockets. Let yourself just feel open and receptive. Unwilling to look in all the nooks and crannies. All the parts that we may be scared of that are our teachers. Free to stay here for as long as you'd like. Just really focusing on not letting go. Thank you so much for practicing with me. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Sweet dreams. Thank you for being here.